Well, good afternoon, YouTube. Charles here. Haven't caught up with you in a while. Getting ready to go on an adventure. Neighbors are shooting in the background. Getting ready to make some deliveries. Going to go over to Nebraska. Going to bring you along. At the end of this trip in Nebraska, we got a little recovery mission on a little jewel that we're going to bring home. So we're going to take the old F-250 and just mosey along. Won't be breaking any speed records, but I just like how this truck runs. And getting ready to pull out here in the yard. And I will bring you along, check in along the trip, and we're going to have a good time. So here we go. Well, good morning, YouTube. I made it to north exit 28 on 380 north, Cedar Rapids, Iowa last night. At 11:30 I pulled in to get a room. They were full, so I drove another exit up, found a nice gas station nobody was at, and I just slept there until 4 o'clock. When the manager came and woke me up and said that I had to move on. So no big deal. I went on up to Waterloo and slept there another couple hours at a Love's truck stop. They were welcoming. Ate at Wendy's this morning. I'm headed now across Highway 20 to Orchard, Nebraska, to my first stop. I've got 276 miles to go. I'm ahead of schedule. So I've cut the throttle back to 58 miles per hour. And just coasting along, enjoying the countryside, looking around and thinking. And trying to save a little fuel by keeping the speed down. So, just giving you a check-in this morning. It is 7:53 a.m. I left the Love's truck stop about 7 o'clock, I think. So, been on the road about 54 minutes. Going to take my time today and go across here. If I see a site or an attraction, I might stop in and take a look, bring you along, and just enjoying life. Well, here we are at Sioux City, going around the bottom side of Sioux City, Iowa, getting ready to cross into Nebraska. We will spend the night in O'Neill, Nebraska. We're going to stop in Orchard, Nebraska, and get rid of 2 pieces that are on the trailer. And we'll keep you posted and keep bringing you along. Miles are going by. We're just cruising along, listening to an audiobook. And we are now crossing into Nebraska, the good life. I think these are the Cornhuskers. We are 119 miles from O'Neill, 92 miles from our first destination. A few things I've noticed. I'm sure the camera is jumpy. A few things I've noticed. The road is a little rougher than it was in Iowa, and the landscape has definitely changed. As we were leaving Iowa, it was a little bit more rolling. This, I can tell, is already a little flatter, and just enjoying the day. I missed getting you guys. There were some wild turkeys along the road. Somebody had emptied their grain truck, the residue in it. They were eating the grain, looked like corn or soybeans. And the wild turkeys were right along the road right when I stopped filming on the other clip. So that was interesting. Well, I need to re-clarify. It has now gotten into the nice, gentle rolling ground that I like. Look out across there. Highway has smoothed out. That's nice. Excuse me. And the nice, gentle, rolling ground. I love it. I've been to this part of Nebraska, but it's been a while. I think back in 2016, we drove across here up through O'Neill to Valentine to have lunch with a customer, and then we went on out to Custer State Park, I think, or something like that. Anyway, rounded up at the Faces, Mount Rushmore, and then on to Devil's Tower. So it's good to be back and enjoying the countryside. The beans look good. Corn looks good. There is places where it's dry, though, I'm pretty sure. Haven't had a chance to talk to anybody, but I'll get a report when I get to my first destination. And just enjoying the views today. Just giving you a quick update. It is 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We met our man from South Dakota. The trailer's getting empty. Tomorrow morning we'll get rid of that. And then we're on to the adventure to show you what we're going to pick up. We're at Plains Cover Crop in Orchard, Nebraska. Nice facility here. If you're looking for cover crops, check them out because they have good cover crops. Good morning. It's Friday morning in O'Neill, Nebraska. It's about 64 degrees and it's going to be a wonderful day. Probably going to get up a pretty good temperature. Stayed at the Holiday Inn Express in O'Neill, Nebraska. Well worth the stay. Everything's kind of pricey now, but got a good night's rest. Didn't have to sleep in the truck. Going to get rid of that bucket elevator, and we're going to proceed on out of here, heading up to Atkinson, Kansas, or excuse me, Atkinson, Nebraska. 26 road. The GPS is confused. We're taking a different route. We're leaving Atkinson, Nebraska, and heading on over to Mullen, Nebraska. We got 2.5 hour drive. We're going to see the Nebraska countryside. So here we go. Met some great people at Atkinson Feed and Supply. Dropped off the last bucket elevator. The trailer is empty. You can see it back there. And we are just going to enjoy ourselves now on a Friday morning, seeing America. We got some pivots going on. They're pretty dry out here. However, the drought hasn't affected the trees yet. But I got a pivot there doing some soybeans. And so this is America. We're in the heartland. The gentleman said a lot of cattle around here at the feed and supply store, and lots of farms. We're just gonna look around, talk to you when we get to Mullen. We'll see what we're going to be looking for there. You'll find it interesting. Heading down Highway 11 south out of Atkinson, Nebraska. I keep wanting to say Kansas. Nice rolling cattle ranches out here. I love these rolling hills. Just thought I'd give you a glimpse of what I'm looking at. America. Looking at the great America. Would have been something to see Lewis and Clark out here, seeing all the buffalo and stuff years ago. No roads. And what an adventure that would have been. Highway 11 south, having the whole road to myself this morning. Haven't seen another car. It's pretty neat. There's like a mound and woods on it, but basically this is grassland. Look at that beautiful lake. Wow, that's awesome. Just enjoying this view of America. Don't know if you can see it over there, but it's raining and a little bit of a scattered shower. Highway 11 is wet here. Has been wet for about the last 5 miles. Shower moving through. They could use a nice drink out here. I don't know how much they're getting, but it ain't a lot. I don't know that they're in extreme drought here. The trees are looking pretty good. Grass ain't looking too bad. But beautiful. It's beautiful. I love this kind of ground, and wish I had more time to show you guys around. heading down into a valley. There's a town down here, I think it was Burrell. We're going to pick up 91 West as we make our way to Mullen, Nebraska. And so we will have to depart Highway 11. Definitely worth the drive if you're ever out here. Take Highway 11. It's beautiful. I know I've said it a lot of times, but it was beautiful. So we're coming down into this valley. See the town over there. Getting into some row crops. A few miles back, it looked like they had some corn that had hail damage. They were tilling it down and going to something else. And there was a couple big feed yards on this road. Massive feed yards. Okay, I guess we won't come into the town. Looks like...
In a quarter mile, turn right onto Nebraska 91 West, North State Highway 11 South.
So here's where we're going to depart, Highway 11. This probably bypasses around the town. It probably used to go through it. Burwell, that's what it was. I guess we will go through it. We're 2 miles from it.
Take the next right onto Nebraska 91 West, North State Highway 11 South.
So now we're on 91
Continue
West.
on Nebraska 91 West for 2 miles.
All right, we're going to keep going into Burwell. Coming right up into Burwell. Population of 1,210. Got a propane tractor right there. Looks like a 3020 or a 3010. As you come into town, always nice to see old iron. Gas is $3.59. Rodeo Inn and Motel. Baptist Church. Give you a quick tour of Burwell. Diesel 454. Nebraska Big Rodeo. And town out in the middle of nowhere would not be complete without its Dollar General.
In a quarter mile, turn right onto Nebraska 91 West.
Dollar General. The saying goes, you drop one of those bags, the store sprouts up. And the semi coming in to supply it. Well, now we're going to get on to 91 West and head on over to Mullen. Heading west on 91. Still got some rolling hills, got some row crops, a lot of irrigation. Get the crops going out here. Got to have irrigation. And just went through the little town of Taylor. Beautiful little town. I should have recorded. Has a little RV park right there in the city park. And nice community. Well kept. Had its own visitor center. Probably was about a population, I didn't notice the sign, probably a population of 300 to 400, maybe less. So seeing some vintage iron along the way. It's kind of like a drive-yourself tractor show. There's some Alice Chalmers coming up and some John Deeres. Oliver in there, vintage iron, got some hay bales in front of us. Well, I'll check in with you a little later down the road. Well, we have transitioned to Highway 2. I don't know how long it's not being repaved, but it's nice and smooth, going about 48 miles an hour. Stalling for time, paralleling a railroad. It said the last engine that went by was Burlington Norfolk Southern, BNSF, hauling coal. Beautiful machines heading down the tracks. Got a semi coming at us here. Looks like he's hauling asphalt for the road. There we go. BNSF heading down the tracks. Pulling coal, keeping the country going. I'll get part of my car in there. It's the second coal train that I have seen. I think that coal comes out of Wyoming or someplace. I'm not for sure. But got a lot of coal, a lot of industry up in here. You just can't see it spread out across the countryside. She was a big one. She had pusher engines on the back. Big train. That's the way to move some coal. Okay, I am at Thedford, Nebraska, and I'm going to eat at the Sand Hills Corral restaurant. Let's go in and see what they have to offer. Nice hotel here too, called the Roadside Inn. This is the crossroads of the Sand Hills, it said. 83 and 2 crossroads. Yeah, this looks good. And we're leaving the Sand Hills Corral. Excellent restaurant. Hamburger was delicious. Very clean. Very good establishment. Highly recommended. 5 stars in my book. So, if you're ever in Thadford, I believe, Sand Hills Corral and Restaurant. Wonderful food. Further west I go, the more beautiful it gets. I don't know if you can see it. I just came up over a hill and a deep valley over there. It's awesome. Hills are getting bigger. We are 12 miles from our destination. They make you say wow when you come over a hill sometimes. Well guys, this is what I brought you for. A Lincoln Mercury, a Ford Mercury. Grand Marquis. I hope you ain't disappointed. Here's what I really brought you for. Right in here. Look at that. Right there is why we came. We got to get her on the trailer. There's going to be some people here to help us in a little bit. Isn't that exciting? Long quest is over, and we found it. There is the seat cushion. That's a little disappointing. She's been in here a little bit. She's a true ag crawler. Okay, gentlemen, right there it is, 1010 CA. It's not just a C, it's a CA. So it's the ag crawler with a blade that's been added years later. This gentleman's great-grandfather was a John Deere dealer. Let's see if she has the belly pan. Oh yeah, belly pan is intact. Well, we have it loaded. Everything went well. We had a large skid steer over there, and it rolls nicely, and like I said, everything went well. And then this is where we got it from. Here's where we took it out of, right here, and we'll go from there. So we have it loaded, and we're in Mullen, Nebraska, getting ready to head back home.
County.
What?
Hooker County.
Hooker County. Okay. We've got everything checked so it doesn't blow off. We're chained down and good to go. About ready to get on the road here. We'll see if we can talk to the owner now. So the way I understand it from Jim, he's 82 years old. His father was a John Deere dealer here in Mullen. And this is some of the dealership buildings. He says it's low-houred, and his father bought it. I don't know why it was never sold. I don't know all the history, and Jim didn't want to be on camera. So I'm doing the best to document the journey. And we found it over there. And we're getting ready to depart, head back for Illinois. It was sitting in that building, which the roof was open. That's a little disappointing. It was rotted off, but I wanted one, and this is what we got. Well, we're working our way back east. We left Mullen about an hour and a half ago, I think. And we're 78 miles from Kearney, Nebraska. We could get on Interstate 80 there, start heading across. But I think I'm going to go south of 80, pick up Highway 4, work my way across this evening, and see if we can make St. Joe, Missouri. We'll drop down on 36 and start working our way across Missouri, maybe this evening yet. I don't know. We'll see how we feel. We get to St. Joe if we get there. Got a little ways to go to make it there, and come into some hills. It balanced real well on the trailer. Hope you liked that surprise. You all thought I might have drove out there for an old car. I thought you'd get a kick out of that, and it's going to be interesting to see what we find when we get this home. Well, I made it home. Got unloaded, tucked away in the shed. Today is the Sunday the 28th. I actually made it home a week ago Saturday. I drove through the night, left Mullen, Nebraska, made it to Barry, Illinois before my eyes went cross. About 2:30 in the morning, left there 12 hours, so 2:30 in the afternoon, Mullen, 2:30 in the morning. Got it tucked away in here next to the Case 310 that we know does run. William has a video. You can go back and look at that. It's been a little while since we put it away in here. Don't know yet anything really about this. Got it unloaded, tucked away in the shed. And probably pull the plugs, get some PB blaster down in there. Don't know that it's stuck, but I don't think it'll hurt anything. And we want to get the combine done first. I've been letting you down. It's been a long time since I've been back on that, but the business and family life taking precedence. And we still have one more trip we have to make as a family. So it's tucked away. It's in the shed. I'm going to get the serial number and send that off to John Deere. So she is a CA24055 is the serial number. Got that cleaned off. Going to go send that off to John Deere and see what they can tell us about it. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the adventure. Like, share, and subscribe.